Greetings, fellow model railroaders. Today I'm going to show you how I make my scrap loads. I can't take full credit. The guy from the Model Railroader Forum taught us all how to do something very neat with candy wrappers. Not just any old candy wrappers, but aluminum candy wrappers, say from, gosh, what's that candy? I think it's Dove. You can buy them at Walmart. Dove chocolates. They come in blue and red and I think like a gold color. But this is how you make them. I'll show you what they look like. You're going to need a few things. First, you're going to need a piece of square 1/4-inch brass tubing, a stick from a firework rocket about the inner diameter of this, and basically all you do is you take your candy wrapper after you have consumed the delicious Dove chocolate, and you keep your aluminum foil and you shove it in the square 1/4-inch tube. You got to crush them down a little bit. It makes it a little easier. And once you get it packed in there, you take your plunge rod here and push down. And that will give you a square scrap bale, just like that. I got my grandson to eat these. Lord knows I don't eat them. And just keep manufacturing these. And they make for very convincing scrap bales. Be surprised how many of these you can do. I mean, don't get sick eating all this chocolate. It's quite a bit of chocolate. I've kept these over the past couple of months. I think since Christmas. There's 3 bales. Working on the 4th right now. Oh, and a wine bottle cork. You just drill a hole and take some glue, preferably some sort of wood glue, and glue the dowel, square dowel rod inside the cork. It's just easier on your hand. And then you can churn these right out. Now once you get to that point, here comes the real fun part. I've already took the liberty and cut a piece of cardstock to fit the inside of the card. Now I could technically use this cardstock as my load. I'm not going to do that. I found a cooler source. This is some packing foam out of some piece of furniture we got. I think it was end tables, and I kept this foam because it was really thin, and I thought, you know, it'd fit great inside of a gondola. So I kept a couple of big pieces of it, and all I have to do now is mark out my gondola. Now let's see. The hard part for me is going to be cutting this out. But I got a secret weapon. A razor knife. Yeah. No, I don't shave with it. Yeah, let's just do it that way. That's probably easier. Oh, and I broke it. That's just great. It's probably not going to be perfect. And just break your foam away. And it's pretty messy. But that gives us our insert for our load. There we go, all cleaned up. Now here comes the fun part. sure it's not going to fit first time. No way. Nope. So you can just run your blade or whatever you're using across. If you happen to have a rasp, that would work just fine. So you whittle it down until it fits inside the car. Which this is not a problem, child. Yeah, it's pretty tight. I don't want it that tight. I want it to come out easier. Now this right here, this spray car, is a 52-foot Athearn Mopec. I got a lot of 3 I bought off eBay just for scrap loads. Now this fits in there quite nicely. I'm pretty happy with it, and it should be able to come out. But I'm going to take it out of the car. You know, I may leave it in while I glue it. I'm not sure. But I'm going to glue these right on in just standard end-to-end fashion. That's going to look pretty snazzy on this spray car. So let's get to work. Enough talking. Another tool I want to introduce you to, Luke Tawan, God, I'm probably butchering his name, the Australian guy that does great weathering and modeling. Man, that guy, he's a good modeler. I asked him one day, I said, you know, what kind of tweezers are those? Because I wanted a pair. These are Yaogong tweezers. You can find them on eBay. These are non-magnetic, stainless steel, very, very sharp tip. They even come with their own little safety doodad here, so you don't poke yourself. These are very nice tweezers. Easy to manipulate things. Alright, so we got our Yaogong tweezers. Got an old biscuit end cap off of one of those, you know, rolls of biscuits. Keep these. These are great for paint and glue and whatever else. I've been using them for years. My wife turned me on to that. She's good with that kind of stuff. Let me just slather some glue in here. Then I'm going to just take an old paintbrush and I'm going to slather glue all over where I want to work. Now I've already done 4 pieces of this. Now you see me use my hands quite a bit. That's because I have to. But you are sighted and should be able to do this quite easily. I'm just going to stagger them all along through here. I should have started on the other end because I got a messed up piece. But I'll piece that in the end. We're going to need more of these. A whole lot more of these actually. But I've been making these for a while. So I got plenty. I'm even going to dip them in the glue just to make sure they get fastened how I want them. I can move my big fat hand. You can see what I'm doing. You know, that's going too slow for me. Let's speed it up a little bit. Let's use our fingers because that's what God gave us and that's what we're going to use. I'm wrecking it already. So let's figure on about 3 chunks across, and that'll probably get us from one side to the other. There you go, Yaogong. These are nice tweezers. Finally found a product from China that was worth buying. These are great little tweezers. I talk a lot of smack about China. Sorry, China. And technically you could, once the glue's dried and everything, you could paint, you know, little rust spots or what have you on some of this. And now this is supposed to represent new cars that have been baled. I don't know. Scrap airplanes, whatever. Refrigerators. Ground up Yetis, you know, whatever. And it's very time consuming. If you don't have the patience, or you don't possess the patience yet, don't even attempt it. One thing about this hobby is patience. It has taught me patience over the years. That's why I love this hobby, and I love sharing information with others. Sometimes, some good information out there. If you're lucky enough for another model railroad to show you something, that's a good day. A lot of guys are real secretive. They don't want to show you. I don't care. I'll show you. Show you what I know. And I would hope you as a model railroader would do the same. Do, 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 do. We'll get there slowly but surely. Hopefully this thing will look pretty cool inside this gondola. That's what I'm hoping for. This is the first one I've made with these. So if it's messed up, I did it. And don't do that. Don't do that. Thank you, Ed. I'm not going to say his last name. So I don't want his name out there. But Ed is an older gentleman with, God, maybe 50 years of model railroading under his belt. He was kind enough to show us on the forum one day how he does his scrap loads, and this is how Ed does his loads. If you're on the model railroader forum, you know who I'm talking about. He's always on there. He's always helping people out. Real nice guy. This is Ed's right here. I thought it was a brilliant idea. Well, I hope this fits. I get it all done. Hopefully I won't run out of little cubed scrap. Maybe. Even if you're not a steel mill modeler, this would be a cool load to do, especially on a rainy day. You don't have anything else better to do, and your wife isn't telling you to do honey-do list. You married guys know what I'm talking about. But I do all my honey-do lists before I even step foot out here. That way nobody bothers me. Technically. My grandson will find me here in about 15 more minutes. He doesn't know I'm out here. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any interest in model trains. That's sad. Such a good hobby too. But there's still time. I'll wear him down over the years. Yeah, that's the plan. But if he doesn't like it, he doesn't like it. I'm not going to force it on him. Told me he wanted to run my trains and crash them. Exactly what I want to do at 10. So what do you think so far? Yeah, pretty snazzy, I imagine. Very, very tedious and time-consuming hobby we have. Oh boy. What kind of projects are you guys working on? I try to subscribe to all sorts of different model railroaders and learn things from them. Things I didn't know. One of the good parts about this hobby, learning new things. Still have not weathered, haven't figured that out over the years. There's a lot of good modelers out there that do share their weathering techniques, and I need grimy, dirty, yucky, steel mill looking stuff. My cats have destroyed my electric arc furnace. They ripped all the girders out of it. Cats. Still got to rebuild that. First world problems, right? Let's do that one. All done with Dove candy wrappers and Andes mints and just little bits of aluminum foil and what have you. That's all this is. I mean, you could buy the Baled scrap load. I mean, I have a couple of those and they're nice. I'd love to cast them and make a bunch of them, but this is more fun. Ed was right. This is the way to do it. Into the end. Try not to put too many in one line. I want to stagger them as best I can. I want them all to fit the gondola. Hopefully I can achieve that. We shall see. You can also use Reese's peanut butter cups, the little aluminum wrappers off those, the little small candies. You could use those. Any kind of small aluminum. Hardest part is sourcing the 1/4-inch tubing needed for this. I got mine at my local hobby shop before it closed. And it reminded me of Ed's way of doing this. So I picked some up a couple of months ago. And this is the first chance I've had to come out here to the hobby room in quite a while. I do them honeydews. A happy wife is a good wife. This will probably be a permanent load for this gondola. Yeah, I figured I only had enough for one. One load is fine. But two would be super cool. We're going to get a little hinky down here. That's just great. Got to put in some little tiny bits. We shall see if this fits in the gondola. Hopefully it does. But we always have a hammer. We can always use a hammer. Doesn't really have that much, use in model railroads, but sometimes you got to use brute force. Oh, lordy. I think another one you can use is the Cadbury cream eggs, the wrapping off that. My wife loves those. Every time she eats one, I get the wrapper, so it's a win-win situation. Alright, that load is almost done. Now the hard part, shove it inside the car here without destroying it. Hopefully. And I just mucked up this end. Well, that's interesting. Here we go. Shove them all in there. And one last piece down here. I think